Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone can hear the sound of my voice to this week's edition of the Penny and Informed podcast, where we discuss a variety of different topics. Joining me, as always, we have our full collection of co-hosts. I know
Whoa.
wonders never cease, but here we go. Welcome, everyone.
Hi. It's nice to
How
have
are-
everybody here.
Yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
You
Well,
never
I'm
know
glad
what's
we've
gonna
got all four of us here tonight. Game on.
That's not how you normally do it, Richard. By the way, you have to go around the. You have to go around the clock. You have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
You have to.
Why are you
have
throwing
Nikki
us
Hy-
off?
you,
Right,
Nikki, Hy-
Nikki, how are you doing?
That would be great if I didn't have a bajillion million birthdays coming up. So, but
normally
yeah,
you-
I
you
saw
normally only
Deadpool
have
today.
one.
It was
Oh,
great.
did you? Did you?
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Kevin,
no,
how are you doing?
rare.
Better than you, Richard. Better than you, as it say. I would think. I would hazard a guess to say that you're not doing very well today.
Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, had a tooth extracted today, and so feeling very, very bizarre because of that. But just got back from a week's getaway, much better than I was a week ago when I was just last vestiges of COVID were just working their way out of my system. But everything's okay. I can't complain. Go on, Richard, your turn.
Okay, great. I'm doing fine. Thank you. So, I thought we had a chat this week about various topics. And I had a list, but I can't find it because I'm an idiot.
You should have just made a doc on your computer.
Thanks.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, baby.
Next
that.
time you won't have to. Next time you won't have to lose it. It will be on your computer.
Yeah, but
Safe
then
and sound.
then he'll lose his computer.
Oh no.
That's what would happen to me. I'm just saying. I would just convert to digital life like I have several times, and then just lose everything.
Yes,
think-
I remember. First thing, Nikki,
Yes.
what is something you don't enjoy that you really want to enjoy?
Anime.
Why would you want to enjoy anime?
I'm such a nerd in literally every other section of nerddom. I have cosplayed. I played D&D. Like I watched Doctor Who. I've seen I am a very big nerd, and I pretty much encompass all of them. But I have not collected anime yet. I've found 2 animes that I actually enjoyed enough to watch more than a season. But yeah, I can't do it.
Okay.
I know what you mean. It's not for everybody.
It's absolutely not. Nah. I can watch Bollywood overacting and that's okay. But like Japan overacting is a completely different just rocket into space overacting. I can't do it. I just can't.
Yeah, but-
and all the way and it doesn't matter what you're watching. If you're subbing it instead of dubbing it, it sounds like porn.
Yeah, but you know what? Richard loves it. He talked about it last week as about the way to become, part of Nirvana. Because Tom had said that he started watching something Metal Alchemist or something, and Richard.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
said,
When I
Okay.
love it.
I'm with you on Full Metal. That's one of them that I have watched. That and Death Note. I've finished Death Note.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, Richard.
Yeah.
Richard
I
said,
watched my way through that because
yeah.
it was a present. It was given to me by someone who lives in Iowa called Katie, and I watched and when I was out with COVID, I thought, right, this is my chance. I've finally got an opportunity to do it some justice, and it was hard work, and I did go onto the Wikia for it and read up. I had to watch every episode and then read every episode to be able to keep pace with everything that was going on. So it was a lot of investment,
Yeah.
A lot of energy needed to do that, but I did, and I'm glad I did. It was worth it. It really
Yeah,
was
it's
worth
good.
it.
That was a good one to start with, but as a general rule, like I've had people tell me to watch Bleach, and I tried, like I've tried so many, like of everybody's favorites, and I'm just like, this is I can't do it. I can't even do Pokemon, man.
Mm.
I've tr- I what about you, Richard? What's the thing that you want to like that you don't? Kevin? I mean, because he's also one of my answers.
Oh, Richard, you
I'm
want
just
to
kidding.
like Richard, but you
No,
can't.
I said Kevin.
Oh, yeah, no, okay. Yeah, no, that's a common thing.
I'm
You know,
teasing.
no. Hey, listen,
I
I
love you. I love your woman.
I'm a weird cat. I'm a weird cat. I think. Well, does Richard want to go then? What do you like, Richard? That you
That's
what
what
do
I
you
was
not
asking.
like?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Oh, what
What
I
do you
want to?
long to like,
Oh,
Richard?
yeah. What do you long to like?
Okay. What? No, not talking about me.
Oh, okay.
Tom, what about you? What's something you want to like?
Something I wish I liked. God, that I don't. I wish I found hard work less taxing, but who actually really likes work? Yes, it's rewarding. Yes, it's good for the kids. Yes, it's important, but it's not going to have the same space as watching an episode of Doctor Who.
No.
I'm going to say streaming music. I wish I liked streaming music, but I don't. I cannot convince myself to get a Spotify account, a YouTube Premium, or anything like that. For some unknown reason, I absolutely insist on doing music like it's the year 2000. Like, I buy my audio CDs, I rip them to a hard drive, I plug my phone into my computer, I transfer certain albums across and keep others, and I do it all that, and I insist on doing it that way. If I had a Spotify account, I could just look up all these albums and so much more, far more readily and far more easily. But some part of me says, no, we don't do that. No, we don't. We
Tom,
own the
no. I am an advocate for Spotify. I have bought people subscriptions to Spotify. That's how much I believe in Spotify, especially if you're a music lover. You are really closing yourself in from like discovering great new artists. Like being able to just listen to entire albums. You don't have to go look for it. You don't have to do anything. It's right there, boom, on your phone. You want to listen to Frank Sinatra? There he is. Charles Trenet? There he is. You know, Korn. It's right there. Whatever you feel like in that moment. You don't have to go search for anything. It is just, you know, sometimes in the morning, I listen to Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. And I do. It's one of my things. But you know, if I'm feeling like listening to somebody else or whatever, like in the middle of my drive, bloop, it's right there. Like I love streaming music. Like I'm pretty sure it probably fucks the artists, but it's really for a music lover just amazing because you also have, you know, if you're really interested in Metallica, you could type in Metallica. Not only are you going to get their discography and be able to just listen to whatever on a whim, you're going to see every podcast they've been part of. So you can just go listen to that podcast. Oh, I want to know more about Metallica. I want to listen to some of their interviews. It's right there.
Oh.
I'm just saying, everything is right there. I love Spotify. I don't care if, you know, I don't care. I love it. I highly recommend, honestly, Tom. I will get you a subscription.
You're probably right. But I don't know. There's something just I mean, it doesn't mean that I can't still buy the physical media of stuff that I really like. You know,
that's very true.
Buy a CD if I want.
I still, man, you can't get me in Walmart. You give me one of those $5 CD bargain bins. I'm going through it, and I'm probably coming out with a couple of CDs.
Yeah,
sometimes more than a couple. because I still love the format. You get me a good record. I love, depending on the album. I think some albums sound better on vinyl. So I mean, there's still reason to go out and purchase those things. It's nice to have a physical copy too, because what happens if all of this goes tits up? Well, now we don't have anything.
They can change it. That's the thing that a lot of things that I find that in a lot of ways, not so necessarily with music that they take out songs or change it or whatever, but definitely on video, digital copies, they could just take it. They take it away. You know what I mean? So it's always better, I think, to have and buy a physical copy, because most of them will give you a digital copy anyway.
That's true.
And it's usually less expensive than buying it off Apple or Prime or whatever. So
right. But if you have a Spotify sub, you can have $13.99, I think, USD.
Yeah.
Will give you a family for up to 5 people having their own accounts.
Right.
And you don't have to buy a $20 album. You pay $13, you have all the albums.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but I see what Tom's saying.
But
I see what you're saying.
I am too. I get it. I have a really hard time reading books on any digital format. I have to have it physically in my hands. Something about the ADHD in me, I have to physically see how far I've gotten to know how far I'm going to go.
Yes.
And you can't do that on a digital piece.
No. Well, that's the same thing.
I still believe in physical forms of art like that. I'm just saying that don't sell short Spotify, because you might not necessarily want to give artists the money for a whole album.
No.
What if you want to listen to a P. Diddy song or something? Just one R. Kelly, just one R. Kelly song.
Yeah.
Well, you're not paying for an album.
Right. Well, the thing that I'll say is, along with your ADHD, one of the things that I wish I liked more than I do is concerts. I can, I unless I'm involved with it, I'm bored. After a few, I just don't, I'm always sort of, I wish I could enjoy something for 2.5 hours or something. I wish I could. It's like, other than that, the thing that I wish I enjoyed that I just seem to not is the House of Dragon, because everybody else is talking about it, and I just can't get into it. I just can't. And I like Game of Thrones, but the House of the Dragon, it's like, Sam's watching
tapped out when they started using the same theme tune as Game of Thrones. I was like, well, if you're not going to bother, I'm not going to bother.
I watched season 1 and I really liked it. I thought it was very good, very well written. Back to form after the debacle of season 8 of Game of Thrones. It was I was on board with it. I just haven't had a way to watch the second season yet.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things. I very much enjoy watching television with Sam, and that's just one of those things where she's been watching it, and I just sort of creep in the background, and I will definitely sit there and be in the same room, but I'm just constantly going through, flipping through something else. I'm always like moving, and that's the thing that is fun. I wish my mind quieted down enough that I could enjoy stuff. It's like the whole idea of being Zen. You know what I mean? Just couldn't do it. I wish I could relax, and I can't.
Have you ever seen the Justin Long movie Accepted?
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Just his explanation made me think about the ADHD kid. Like they had him he enrolled, quote unquote, in yoga or meditation, and he like sat down for 30 seconds. It was like, okay, this is great, and then walked off.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, yeah.
See, I can do that. I'm fine with concerts. Like Dave Matthews will turn a 5-minute jam, like a 5-minute song, into like a 20-minute jam session.
Yeah.
And if it's live, I'm so into it. That being said, I'm really cheap when it comes to who I go see at the, I don't
Yeah.
really pay a lot for concerts.
Well, maybe I've never been to a concert really either inebriated in any way. So maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I just need to get a little bit funky.
I wish
And-
I could say my experiences, but I mean, I've been to concerts stone cold sober, and then I've been to concerts smashed out of my mind. Like when I went to see Megan Thee Stallion, smashed out of my mind. I think I started like as soon as we went to a pregame, and as soon as I entered the apartment that we were all at, I was given a shot of whiskey. Or no, not whiskey, tequila. I was given a shot of tequila. I made it 5 more steps, said hello to somebody else, kind of went into the kitchen, was given another shot of tequila. Like before the concert, I had already taken like 4 or 5 shots of tequila. Like I was pretty. I'm glad that we had like a 15-minute walk to the venue to sober me up.
yeah.
But it was, I don't know. You would probably enjoy it, yeah, if you could get a little bit of high, a little bit of shroom, something
Well, I just
to
think
chill you down.
I just think that's I mean, I was watching this program about ADHD people, and
Mhm.
they said that a lot of ADHD people are binge drinkers. And his excuse for that was, or his explanation for that was, is because you got to get a lot down you. And then because of the fact that your brain slows down whenever,
Mhm.
because it's a depressant,
Yeah.
that you actually start thinking like a regular person.
Yeah.
And that's why you like it, because you're only really starting to think about 1 or 2 subjects. You don't have 45 different subjects going through your head.
Yeah,
And
no,
so-
I'm with you 100%. I know what that, I have the ADHD, and I don't drink often, but when I do,
yeah.
like
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean-
literally I took a friend out, and I used to have a really high tolerance. I don't anymore because of the meds that I'm on. I used to have a really high tolerance, and I would go out and have like $125 tab, but it had been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I would be an hour and a half later, I'll have had like 6 shots and like 3 or 4 drinks because I was slurping them down like they were Kool-Aid. And then, I enter at 7, at 8:30, I'm stumbling out, having to be driven home
Oh yeah. No, I mean,
and loving life. That happens
Yeah.
to me like once every few years.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't take it anymore, but I remember
No, I couldn't either.
at a work party one time, believe it or not, at a work party, I got so drunk. I actually went in the next day. They had to walk me out to the car. Then they put it, I wasn't driving. Okay. So that, I mean, let's get that out of the way, but they had to place me in the car. The next day I woke up and I went into work, and I probably shouldn't have been driving then. And then I got so sick, I was in the hospital with alcohol poisoning for like 3 days. Yeah.
This is wow. I should have been taken to the hospital when I was 14 for alcohol poisoning. I weighed $145. I hadn't eaten in like a day and a half, and I took 7 shots of Southern Comfort in about 45 seconds.
Yeah. Not
I was
a
so
good
sad.
idea.
I was sick for a week. Like literally, I think the only reason I wasn't taken to the hospital is because, it was the 90s, and also, highly illegal to be, allowing a 14-year-old to drink, especially for that amount.
Whoa.
So
You'll get over it. You'll get over
yeah,
it.
so I just dry heaved for like 2 days. I have a picture. I actually went to work the next day.
Well, if you were in Britain, they would have just taken you to the hospital. But I'm sure your parents would have been pissed off. They were like, I'm not paying the deductible for you to go to the emergency room because you did
Yeah.
it to yourself.
So my parents found out about it because the person I was with told them. And my dad looked at me and he said, "Did he get the dry heaves?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, you've already been punished enough." And he laughed at me for having the dry heaves. He
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, you're never going to drink like that ever again, are you?" And I was like, "No." And I have not.
Oh,
I know my limits.
Remember that was the way that you weren't supposed to. If you got caught smoking, they'd make you smoke like a carton.
A whole carton. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
that was supposed to make you so ill that you never
Right.
smoked again.
Right. And sure enough,
But you know what? You say that to a person nowadays, and they're like, "Oh, it's
what a horrible fucking
yeah,
thing
like
to
what
do to
kind of
somebody."
exact? Yeah, well, no, that was the thing, right? We didn't have to have school bullies because our parents did it.
Yeah, that's 100% true. 100% true. I remember my dad found out that I was getting bullied at school for being chunky, and because I've always been a broad girl, even when I was skinny, like I had like the Goldberg shoulders. I'm a broad chick. Anyway, my dad found out that they were making fun of me, and every day when I'd get home from school, he would be like, "What's wrong, fat ass?" And like it was to thicken my skin.
Yes, you're
And
just not
then-
tough enough.
You're just not tough enough,
Yeah.
So if I hammer it into you, you're not gonna care, dude.
Yeah. Unless you came home black and blue and bloody, to the extent that they would take it out on you. But if they got to the point where it's something serious about, then you go around and see them. You know what I mean? You go around and see them. But until that point happens, you just need to buck up, Buttercup.
All of this talk is reminding me of something that happened to me a couple of days ago.
Right?
Okay, so like a week ago, I was talking to a doctor, and he was talking about how one of the job risks for anesthesiologists is opiate addiction, just because they have access to it and being addicted to like benzos and stuff like that. I get it. So me and my roomie's best friend is in medical school, and he was talking about when he's in residency, he's supposed to be he gets drug tested like weekly. And so we were like, how do doctors get away with doing so much cocaine during the residency? And so I looked up how long does cocaine stay in your system, like basically just to see. It's 72 hours. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Anesthesiologists always get drug tested as well, fairly regularly. And I was like, okay, so if you pop a pill, like how long do opiates take? That's another like a couple of days, 72 hours. And so the last one I Googled, how long do benzos stay in your system? And Google shot back at me this picture, or not this picture. It's basically help is available. Speak with someone today. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline for emotional and substance abuse support. And then the next link was like a substance abuse support. I actually have a picture of it because I was like, that's kind of sweet of Google to be like, you're asking about a lot of drugs, chickie. You good? Like, did you just take benzos, cocaine, and opiates? It did.
dear.
I have a picture of it. I'll have to send it to you, but it's hysterical. I was just like, seriously? Thanks, Google.
I was
Google,
wondering
There you
Yeah.
go.
why.
I sent it in chat.
I was wondering why it seemed to have sort of a preference of some. No, no, cocaine's fine, 72 hours. Some benzos. Oh no! You can't be doing that. No. Whether it seemed to have sort of a preference of some illegal drugs over others.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, you can't smoke weed at all, but like apparently you can do coke, fentanyl, heroin, shrooms, Valium, all those just fine. That's fine. You just can't smoke weed. That is insane. That is insanity. That means when they get off the clock on Friday, they got the whole weekend. Like, they can just wild out on Thursday or Friday night and not worry about it.
Wow.
Yeah, but could it be that cocaine, of course, is an illegal drug, and any kind of over-the-counter stuff like all those other things are sold by pharmaceuticals. So they're checking. So they're checking to
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
if because
Yeah,
obviously,
I mean, if you're gonna use drugs, at least give us some money for it.
well,
Like
no,
we're
well,
not selling you weed, but benzos, opiates, and cocaine are readily available in your hospital pharmacy.
well, no, that's true. Yeah, that no, I mean,
That's why it's a risk factor of becoming an anesthesiologist, is becoming addicted to these things. It's so readily available to you. Same with doctors. Like it's literally, you've got all the passes and your buddy's got all the passes too. So, you and Dr. Jones over here are just like, oh, well, my back's really hurting. Yeah, I'll write you some oxy. I'll write you some morphine. Let's go.
yeah,
I
but
wrote it for you.
yeah, I
I,
know.
I never was big. Sorry, excuse me.
We're
I
just
was
stealing.
never big on the TV series House. Sorry, excuse me. Got a frog in my throat. The one with Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, I love
But
that.
I think didn't he finish that series? I mean, the character, not the actor, absolutely dosed up to the nines on all kinds of things.
I don't remember, but he was usually
No,
dosed
no.
up.
Wasn't that
You-
Nurse
you-
Jackie, that television?
It might
show?
have been Nurse Jackie.
Yeah.
The
Nurse Jackie.
house. He drives off into the sunset with Wilson.
My sister made me watch Nurse Jackie because she told me that I reminded her of Nurse Jackie. I was like, oh my god, that's not a good thing.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably not a good comparison.
No, I was like, and she was like, no, I don't mean like her problems. I just mean like some of the shit that she says. I was like, that's a little bit better because I do say some off the wall things, but
Still not happy with that comparison.
so yeah, still not. Nah.
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
what
Sorry.
about you? Like what's another one of your thingies, Richard? Since we went on a tangent.
No,
Bring us back.
the whole point of it is to create tangent.
Oh,
well,
It's natural, free-flowing conversation that we all do really well together. When all four of us are here.
actually, Nikki, something you said about reading digitally, I realized
Mhm.
that's actually a far better answer for me than digital music. Is I really wish I was good at reading. I really wish I enjoyed reading. I am absolutely terrible at it. I have got so many really, really good books that a lot of them I've been given, and I just haven't opened. I haven't read. I took the book that became a few different films. Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune. It was given to me by a friend of mine called Matthew. A paperback copy gave me about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've barely opened it. And I took it away on holiday, and I didn't open it this holiday.
Do you feel
really
like
good book.
do you feel like maybe you look at it and get overwhelmed? Like just because you are ADHD, that is
Well-
something that I do sometimes. I'll look at a book and be like, fuck that book in particularly. But no. And and also especially if it's something like really in depth, like Dune is a pretty involved book from what I've heard. I haven't actually read it. I'm surprised and just being like, you know what? I am gonna dedicate 1 hour a week. So, 2 days, I'm gonna set an alarm for 7 o'clock and I'm gonna read for 30 minutes or something like that and get something light. I will be more than happy to give you some books that you can read with the boys, because sometimes when I feel like I need to read and I can't undertake something too heavy or too involved, I switch to youth books. So stuff like Lois Lowry, The Giver, or like Bridge to Terabithia, like classics that your kids can also read and really love. I would suggest doing that.
I love the thought of that, but my dad, it's difficult to engage him in anything. It's he when when we used to do bedtime stories, we would often get basically nowhere. He just doesn't like them. He just doesn't. He's 14 now, and you know, he'll occasionally read a bit of non-fiction. Like I found him in a charity shop a Formula One Circuits from Above, and he quite liked that. But in terms of sitting down and reading a novel, it really doesn't work. And my other son, Reese, his special needs are so huge that you just sort of sit and read a Thomas the Tank Engine story, and you just have no idea how much is going in and how much is not. You just do it. You just read to him and read the story, and then say, "Wasn't that a lovely story, Reese?" And he sort of doesn't say anything much back. It's just he is just profoundly autistic. His communication is very limited, and you really have no idea how much he's taken in. We just trust that it's good for him,
right?
And encourage him to enjoy it. He watches. We always choose. Or we often, not always, we often choose books that he knows from TV shows as well.
Right.
Not like Hey Dougie or Thomas the Tank Engine, I just bought him a couple of books from a TV series called Chuggington, which is kind of like Thomas the Tank Engine, little trains with faces on, and so we do that. I could just about read those.
I get it. It's hard, especially with ADHD stuff, to focus for. And like I used to read a book a day. I kid you not. As a teenager, yeah, I think I was 14 when I read Lolita in 8 hours. I just picked it up. Like I used to, until I was probably like 23, 24, I would pick up a book and I ate with that book. You know, I went to the bathroom with that book, took a bath with that book. I didn't put that book down until it was over. And I would read some pretty heavy stuff in like a single day. And I don't know. I don't know what happens about the age of 24, 25. I just stopped being able to read. I can't function. Like I'll read 3 paragraphs or even a paragraph and just be like, what did I just read? I have no idea. I didn't retain any of it. And I have to read it again. So, yeah.
But I have to do that with TV shows. I have to wind back.
Dude, I do that too. It helps for me to watch something that I don't have to physically look at the whole time. There are some shows I can get away with and actually just be so into them that I'll watch them. Stranger Things is one of them. The Boys is another one. Like I will put down my phone, but most of the time I have a hard time clinging on to stuff. So I play something where I can listen, and it helps me to actually know what's going on in the movie to be doing something else. I need like a fidget spinner or something to watch movies with, I think.
Yeah. You're speaking of people named Reese Caldwell, Richard.
There's a lot of despicable shit happening in EastEnders right now.
Yes.
I'm not really a fan of it. I'm not really a fan of Reese, got to be honest. I thought he was cool when he first entered the square, but now I'm convinced he's the one that put Debbie in the coma in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going. You know, and he's obviously some kind of a psychotic. I think at this point in time, I'm not sure what his deal is, but we'll find out. Maybe we can talk about it next week then, whenever it all goes bad. But obviously, he didn't help himself this week. I'll just say that.
Oh, just lies upon lies, killing his wife, stealing her jewelry.
Well, yes, not only that, but, you know, then basically getting into the whole thing where the whole family started figuring out that, you know, he took this money and, you know, then they find out that he took the money. They're all, but I'm saying Sonia didn't help this week because in a few ways, Sonia, you know, got mad, tried to brass up on him, and Sonia went around in her own way, and as she can sometimes sort of pokes the bear a wee bit, in my opinion. But Reese is a mess up, and
Definitely made the situation a million times worse.
yes, because I think at this point in time, it's seriously going down. You know,
Yeah.
and what's his name? Nish is he's cottoned on to the whole thing now. He knows the whole scenario. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
but I was with Priya all the way in that when she locked him there. I was like, just kill him. Just kill him. And now he's gone looking for Suki's old girlfriend to try and split her and Eve up. And I'm
Yes.
like, no, I waited 2 years for Suki and Eve to get together. I'm not letting you ruin it. Even if I have to drive to London and shoot you in real life.
But why? Here's the thing. Why would this lady who Nish murdered her husband
Yeah.
want to have anything to do with Nish?
She probably wouldn't. That's why he's got Avani to track her down
Oh,
for him.
well. All right. Well, I mean, it was an eventful week. I don't know if it was a happy week. I don't think anything good happened, did it?
Not really, no. It was the first week in a while the whole thing went by without Lola being mentioned.
No, she was mentioned. She was mentioned. Lola was mentioned on, I think, Thursday's episode.
No way. I was paying attention.
No,
When?
she was. They said something about Lola. I can't remember, mate. But now, if I hear the word Lola, I can't. You know, it's like my ears prick up. She did. There was a mention of her about something, and I don't quite know.
No, I remember Callum said it that because Lexi and Kathy had gone to America.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
And Alfie. Oh no, Alfie trying to look after Tommy. Tommy is obviously
acting like a prick.
yes. He Alfie was trying to get him to share money with this other guy, and then Tommy takes him around the corner and says he's going to batter him if he doesn't give him the £5 or something. And then he's all happy looking at himself. He trying to turn out to be a wee gangster like Phil.
Yeah, the joke of it is if Phil finds out that Tommy hit Cat, Phil will kill him himself, So
Yep.
Phil's old school and you're not allowed to beat your mother up.
Yeah, but let's look back in the day. Back in the day, Phil punched Peggy. That was a long time ago. Long time ago. But Phil did punch Peggy back in the day. I think that's whenever he was on drugs or something. Remember he got onto what was he on? Like smoking heroin
Crack.
or something? Crack. Oh yeah, he was on crack. She came around, told him to knock it off. He whacked her one. And
I've got to say that is one of the worst bloody storylines they've ever ran though was Phil on crack. I was like, come on.
yeah, but then but you see that's Phil, isn't he? He's got this sort of major depressive personality, and he's always now he's depressed and he has no he seems to be coping with it. He hasn't fallen back on the bottle, but I'm surprised in that. I'm sort of surprised. I don't want to see that happen, but I'm surprised that it hasn't happened. But anyway. Well, we don't have to talk about it anymore. I was just giving you an entree into it. Should you want to speak about it?
Yeah, no, I know that Tom and Nikki do not care for EastEnders chat, but it was nice to touch on it briefly.
No,
Yeah.
it was fine. I was ignoring you guys. I was talking to Gabby.
You always ignore us.
That's true. You guys are men.
Yeah. I mean, we let you talk about Full Metal Alchemist or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but
just
we
thought
don't
it
do
was
that
good.
every week.
Well, maybe you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No
can.
one's stopping you, Tom.
Yeah, you could talk about Pokemon since Nikki
Yeah.
doesn't like.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Naruto.
And all the
I
other
know what I
Dragon
And
Balls.
all that fucking stupid weeb shit that you want to.
I know what I can talk to you about. One of your least favorite topics, Richard. The local, our local fish and chip shop. Normally they never have anything vegan except chips. But to my absolute sheer delight, I walked down there the other day with one of my kids and just to get some chips. And I went in and they've got a whole vegan menu. I was thrilled to bits. So I'll send you a picture of it because I took a picture and I was like, yay! So
See,
hugely.
If
thrilled
I
about
ran
it.
a fish and chip shop, I'd say it was vegan, but it wouldn't actually be vegan.
Well, what about the oil? I mean, don't they? I mean, do they share the same oil?
I would
That-
make
that-
damn
they
sure everything was cooked in the same oil. I'd get the meatiest sausages I could find and say, no, it's impossible meat.
Yeah,
Totally, it's plant-based.
just putting the battered sausages in there and then cooking up some vegan chips at the same time.
Personally, being used in the same oil doesn't bother me at all because it's not an active ingredient. But they're vegan menus. So next time I go there, I'm not just going to get chips. I can get onion rings, a curry roll, a spicy bean pie, a veggie burger, or a samosa. All of those are vegan, which is fantastic.
What is this country coming to?
Oh yeah,
How can we allow this as British people? This crap in our fish and chip shops. No. Take a stand against it. Hashtag resist.
Aldi even do a battered vegan sausage, which is about as unhealthy as it gets. It ticks all the wrong boxes. It's totally unhealthy. It's massively processed. It's nothing like the proper lentil stew that us vegan hipsters are supposed to be eating. It's a complete mimic of something totally meaty, and it's very, very bad for you. So, but it tastes absolutely delicious, and you wouldn't know it apart from a meat sausage. Aldi's vegan battered sausages, they're great. And because I didn't know the fish and chip shop did all this great stuff, I had a couple of those in the oven on the go in time for when I came back with just the chips. But I said to them, I'm just having chips this time, but I will be back lots, often, and massively. Woohoo!
Are you sick of going into your favorite store and seeing this bollocksy vegan stuff shit? Me too. Hashtag me too. Let's bring it back.
What I did,
anti-vegan stuff.
one of the things I did do recently was I tried to not make a big deal about it when I was out with some people on Sunday night. We went to. I just met a couple of old friends I used to play American football with. Just for a couple of drinks, and they said, "Oh, we're going to get some food," and I'd just eaten at home, so I said, "Oh, all right then," And I went over, and yeah, they had all their different burgers. It was an expensive place. It was. This is just. Don't think it's part of a chain. I think it's a one-off burger place in Canterbury. And I went in, and they did have a plant burger. So I ordered one of them, and I actively tried not to tell anyone about it and not make a big deal about it or draw any attention to it. But one of the guys did notice, and I said, yes, I do. I happen to be vegan, yes. I wasn't mocked or ridiculed for it. They didn't roll their eyes in despair.
They should have.
And I didn't.
Well, I mean, they probably wouldn't with you because you're the kind of person that broadcast that. They would have been like, oh, it's that nutter with the coconut. And they would have just chalked that up to normal behavior.
Yeah, I look at it like this. Tom, I wouldn't make fun of you for ordering a vegan burger. But to be honest with you, mate, if I heard you called up the pub 45 minutes before you got there and told them to take the bottle out of the refrigerator, I would be roasting you for that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
I mean, I really
that's
shouldn't.
true.
I really shouldn't because, back in the days before refrigeration, that's how everybody drank their beer, isn't it? So,
Yeah, well, before the invention of clothes, we all sat around naked. I mean, that's not really a sound argument, Kevin.
No,
well,
I do. I like it. I
it is if
prefer
you're
a
a
beer.
naturist.
I prefer a beer. That is room temperature almost always. It was very hot.
Oh.
We were on holiday
What
this
is
week. We
wrong
were
with
in.
you?
Yeah, what is actually wrong with you?
What?
I just don't. I
Cold,
don't like cold drinks.
Okay. Is it because like you have sensitive teeth, or you just don't think they taste as good?
But a bit of both. I do have quite sensitive teeth, but I sometimes have a cold drink. I'll normally, if they offer say ice, I normally say no thanks. If I'm offered ice in a bar or somewhere
Okay,
or restaurant, I normally decline ice. But I don't
that
keep.
makes sense. So you're just used to that's what you're used to.
I just prefer room temperature. I mean, real ale is meant to be drunk at room temperature normally anyway.
Well, that's
Uh,
true.
Depends on the ale. All right.
Yeah, I guess so. But
See,
lager
okay,
is meant to be chilled. But I will
tell-
have I think Budweiser tastes amazing at room temperature.
I'm gonna be honest. I'll drink a soda at room temperature, no problem, as long as it's not warm. I don't care if it's room temperature, but like, there's something about it, like especially for us domestic beer. Like you have to get to it when it's cold. When it starts getting lukewarm and room temperature, it just, I don't know, it loses. It's like drinking piss at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it.
It
I
loses
love
its
it.
sparkle. But I get it. I understand. I have a lot of people in my life who prefer no ice, just
yeah.
room temperature.
I cannot believe the amount of people. Well, you know what I mean. Well, last time I was back in Ireland, and I'm going next week. But anyway, last time I was back in Ireland, the fact that everybody was trying to drink a Budweiser or Bud Light, as this imported beer. You know what I mean? I'm drinking imported. It's it's like the most expensive beer in the joint. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, it's like, yeah, I mean, and then when you turn your nose up at it, then they think you're uncouth or something. I was just saying, no. I mean, I could have bought you a half rack for $12 or something. Well, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
We don't know what a half rack costs. I don't know what a half rack costs anymore. It's probably not $12, but
Yeah, it's probably more than that. I haven't bought beer in quite some time.
yeah,
But I'm also a bottle girl
yeah.
and not a can girl, so I'm
Yeah.
expensive.
Maybe I should go to the shop before I go there and get like a case of like Schmidt Ice or
Hey,
Schmidt's, or what else? What else did we drink? A Keystone, Keystone beer. I'm just trying to think of all the cheap beer that we drank back in college.
I just think about every American teenager that's over the age of 30 has had the experience of Boone's Farm from the gas station.
Oh yeah, Boone's Farm,
mean-
Milwaukee's best. That's what I was thinking of. Milwaukee's best.
Oh yeah.
Every British teenager has had Royals and White Lightning cider on a park
White
bench.
Lightning, that's it. That's the one. White Lightning or Ice Dragon.
And
Or then
Royal.
those we
That's
didn't
if you-
I don't know that one, but I definitely know White Lightning.
Yeah, that's whenever you chuck a fucking whitey. You know what I mean? Most people don't know what that in America. They don't know what chucking a whitey is. It's when you get so sick that basically your stomach lining starts coming up in your vomit right before you get the dry heaves. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't sound nice. I've over here a whitey. Pulling a whitey is when people have too much weed and it makes them sick and they puke up.
Oh yeah, that's called, yeah, instead of blacking out, that's a white out or a greening out. Um, and then of course you have crossfaded, which means that you're drunk and high at the same time.
What
Oh,
is that?
that
Is
it
that
doesn't
that
sound
doesn't
good
sound
at
good to me
all.
either.
Oh my god, it's the it's one of my favorite things from when I was younger and did stupid stuff. I got crossfaded, and I remember I was at so I was at one of my favorite bars at the time. This is when I was in my 20s, and there was like 12 people at our table, and it's very loud at this bar, and we're just eating and cutting up, and suddenly everybody turns into the teacher from Charlie Brown. Like I literally everything slowed down to the point where every conversation was like wah 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 wah. I couldn't figure anything out. I had the greatest time. I was so mellow, did not give a crap, had no idea what was going on. Enjoyed my food. I used to love to get crossfaded. Uh
What about this lady?
bold.
Okay, let me ask you this question because everybody's worked up about this Algerian boxer lady. Is that big of a
Yeah.
deal? Is that big of a deal there that everybody said that she was a man?
But she wasn't, was she?
No,
She's not trans. She was born intersex. She's a
I don't.
hermaphrodite.
I don't even think she's a hermaphrodite, dude. I mean, because first of all, the thing that threw me off is if you know anything about Algeria, which is a Muslim country, the chances of you being trans in Algeria and still being alive after you said 1 second after you said, "Hey, mom and dad, I'm trans," is nil plus one. You know what I mean? So that's just not one of those things that's going to happen in a country like that, first of all.
Mhm.
And second of all, she does have a lot of testosterone in her system, which means that she could be taking testosterone as an additive.
Or she
Yeah.
could have PCOS. There's so many things. So back when I went to a fertility clinic many years ago, my testosterone was actually higher than my husband's.
Yeah.
I'm not a dude and I wasn't taking anything. I wasn't juicing.
Yeah.
PCOS is a bitch, and I'm part French, so whatever.
Well, I think
We some
well,
hairy bitches.
I think that the thing about it is that apparently she hits like a sledgehammer.
I bet.
And this lady from Italy that she just couldn't take it anymore and just, said that was the hardest she'd ever gotten hit and, gave up in the first, couple of rounds. But, then it was all this, then it just gets away from people. Apparently, this was a rumor that was started by somebody, and next thing you know, everybody's jumping on it like this is the thing, and it's just an interesting thing how rumors can really ruin people's lives if it's not checked. You know what I mean? And it's just, I would imagine that she's going to win this lady because I think that she fights dirty and hard. And it's not the first time she's gotten in trouble for fighting dirty. So it is interesting that they let her be in the Olympics because I think she's been barred for fighting dirty before, but not because she's not a lady or a female or however you want to say that now. I know I probably make everybody mad because I say lady. It's still, I don't know. But then that's life.
I mean, a lot of people were, including one of my relatives, were very quick to share memes, outraged about how this trans woman was allowed to compete when as you've correctly said, Richard, this is a classic case of do your homework, fact check, don't believe everything you hear.
I've
Because
given up. I've given up trying to get people over a certain age to do any research on anything ever. I think he's just gone.
yeah, look, she'll be back.
But yeah, I mean, they just read whatever Twitter says because they come from a generation where you could believe everything the media told you.
Well, but I think the thing about it is that what I find interesting is if you ever go on to these quote unquote non what do you call it, mainstream media sites,
Yeah.
a lot of what they do is they comment on other people's videos. You know what I mean? So they'll say, okay, today we've got this liberal dude and he's trying to say this and he's trying to say that. And, they just comment on it. How is that anybody, how is that any different from being an influencer? At what point in time have we decided that these people, just because they're sitting behind a nice desk with a green screen behind them with a thing, and because they say that they're conservatives, they're just conservative influencers. They're not any different from you or I. They don't talk about news. All they do, I mean, it seems like I've tried to watch some of them, but it's just like liberal influencers or whoever they want to say, they just bitch about other things. And then conservative influencers just bitch about liberal influencers. Nobody's doing anything. It's a circle chasing itself. You know what I mean? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it's just, it's just what side you want to come down on. So you basically just find what you want and find that person who likes to talk shite about the other person. And then you can always do it. So if you like to feel good by following somebody that talks shite about somebody, this is the time of your life. It's never been better to be alive. You know what I mean? Because you can always find somebody that's talking shite about somebody else. So I think that's
It
interesting.
must be exhausted to wake up every morning and go through your Twitter feed, desperate to find something to be offended by, though.
Yes, right. But that's what these people on these things do. They do that for you. So they tell you what to be outraged by, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think that anybody? I mean, here's the thing, Richard. You think anybody's really watching women's boxing? And then coming up with the idea that I bet you women's boxing has got to be one of the lowest watched things in the Olympics.
It depends on the type of women's boxing. I'm pretty sure topless women's boxing.
Yeah, well, no, that would be different.
Gets watched a lot.
If it was women's pillow fighting in cheerleading outfits in the sand, there'd be a lot of people watching it.
I used to watch that on Channel 5 at like 3 o'clock in the morning. They had women's topless boxing on. And I was like, this is a sport I can get behind.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just misogyny on our part. But still, I'm just saying.
Is it misogyny, Kevin, or is it as expressing our right as people that identify as straight men supporting women's right to wear whatever they want to wear? There we go.
Well, but if you
nailed it.
Have you ever watched that women's indoor arena football? Where they play American football in arenas and that, and like literally they just wear pads and like a thong. I mean, I don't know how they don't get messed up, to be honest with you, on AstroTurf and everything like that. It's gotta hurt.
Kevin, that's them expressing themselves in their body positivity. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, all I'm saying is you should be able to wear enough so that you don't get. Well, maybe the new generation feels they don't have that sort of burning effect that was, but you can get a nasty scrape on that. And I'm imagining because of the fact that, you know, the way that those were constructed, pretty nasty infection. You know,
Yeah.
all I'm saying. You know, but this is the thing. I mean, this is the thing. Well, you don't need cheerleaders at a football game either, but you know, a lot of people like them. A lot of people like them. So I mean, I don't know.
On that bombshell, I think we can wrap that up on that note for sure.
Bombshell.
We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from them. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Well, I suppose that a lot of women like the female form, Richard.
Exactly.
They
we are actually, by watching porn, supporting women's body positivity and their right to watch whatever they want.
I was just maybe talking about women in bikinis or something like that. I mean, I don't think a lot of females really find the male form all that manageable, especially in the genitalia area. I think that's no. I mean, you know, look at the last turkey in the shop is not exactly the most attractive thing. Okay, on that note,
Yeah,
that's a better bombshell.
Okay, yeah, I think we'll wrap it up on that one. No, everyone.
Good